A special presentation from the KTVB Newsroom. Bronco Roundup Game Day starts now.
It's not going to be easy. Last time we lost Mountain West game was Fresno State.
Boise State has racked up a lot of trophies in their trophy case over the years, but none are more coveted, perhaps, than the famous milk can that they are desperately trying to take back here in Boise. Welcome into Albertson Stadium, live from the field. I'm Jordan Smith, Austin Parr alongside me, and we have quite a showdown coming to the blue. Phenomenal defenses colliding here in just over an hour.
Yeah, the Broncos looking to get a victory over Fresno State. Maddox Madsen specifically for the first time since 2022. Not a lot of teams come here into this stadium and win football games here, but this Fresno State team, they've got the last laugh. They beat Boise State in the Mountain West Championship game right here on the blue. I'm sure Bronco Nation fans, they remember that specific game. That one's had to have haunted them for a while now.
Absolutely. It's crazy to think, as tough as it is to get a win here at Albertson Stadium, Fresno State's won 2 of the last 3 matchups, and as you alluded to, that Mountain West Championship game, Taylon Green, the last quarterback to actually beat Fresno State. And later in that same year, Boise State hosted that Mountain West Championship, and Fresno State, they said, we kept the receipts. And ever since, it has been tough sledding in this rivalry for Boise State. But tonight, a chance for a new chapter against an offense at Fresno State that has been struggling as of late. They started so well defensively, but lately that offense has just gone missing.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, they got throttled in Fort Collins by Colorado State. You probably wouldn't have thought coming into that football game that they would get absolutely throttled by the Rams. Then they go out and lose to San Diego State, and it's all of a sudden they were shut out for the first time in 45 years. Think about that for a second. An offense being shut out at home.
Hall of Fame quarterback, his son, he threw 3 touchdowns and for 350 yards, but also 3 interceptions, so he became benched. They then turned to Conklin, who's a younger face, 6'1", 175 pounds, not very experienced, hoping to turn the ship in the right direction against Boise State. It's going to be interesting to see what he comes out with, because there's not a lot of tape on this guy, and really the only thing on his resume is
realistically, when you look at it, the crazy stat about Fresno State is they have not played a clean football game on offense all year long. I'm sure that frustrates the coaching staff. It's going to be tough to have that happening here today on the blue, one of the toughest places to play in the Mountain West.
And although that offense is struggling as of late, the defense is not, as Coach Danielson knows all too well headed into this one.
We know they're going to be really good on defense. They're going to make plays as a defense. They're going to create pressure. They're going to make good tackles because it's a really good defense. It's not going to be easy. They're sound. They play really hard. They create turnovers. You're not going to get cheap ones on them. They're not going to all of a sudden not have somebody in the gap or cutting guys free. And they also got a really good third down package. You don't want to get to third down on this defense. We got to stay in the fight. This is going to be a heavyweight matchup. It's going to be a 4-quarter game. And in all 3 phases, we got to find a way to play our best because that's the team we're playing.
Coach Danielson with high praise for Fresno State's offense. Again, this is an defense that is going to make you work for it, especially against a Boise State offense that kind of disappeared last week as well.
Yeah, they struggled at Reno in Nevada. I know it's a rivalry game. It's a tough one to win on the road. It's just one of those teams that always has kind of a funky rhythm when you try to start that football game. They turned the ball over. They couldn't rush the football early. They can't have those things this afternoon, especially at home when they want to keep the crowd into it, they've got to get the offense going quickly.
A lot of uncharacteristic play from the Broncos offense in Reno. There was the fumbled snap from Madsen. There was a lot of incompletions, throwing across his body, the interception. But the most shocking thing seemed to be that they couldn't run the football. They were losing that battle at the line of scrimmage.
The biggest thing was, we talked about it, Dylan Riley only had about 6 carries almost halfway through the game, and all of a sudden you're talking about a guy that had 200 yards rushing the week before. Why is he not touching the football more? And if the offensive line can't open up holes early, that may be the issue right there. I mean, it starts up front with the offensive line. You got to give Dylan Riley the football and allow Zaire Gaines to also come in on the backside and punch touchdowns in.
Yeah, well, you just saw on camera there, Conclave for the Fresno State Bulldogs getting loose here on the blue turf. Again, very inexperienced quarterback, but somebody that this Fresno State coaching staff believes in, that they can come into Boise and continue this win streak over the Broncos, bring that milk can back to Fresno State. Meanwhile, those offensive struggles, it's only going to be more complicated because Boise State is without 2 of their key offensive weapons headed into this matchup. Obviously, they lost Ben Ford to a season-ending injury, and Chris Marshall is away from the team this week because of a disciplinary action.
Yeah, Spencer Danielson declined to answer questions about Chris Marshall's availability. Did say that he will be away from the team this week. Hopefully learns his lesson as far as treating coaches and players on the football team, but that's their top offensive weapon. You talked about it. You already lost Ben Ford. Chris Marshall is the biggest and most explosive offensive weapon for this Boise State offense. But, hey, the mantra, it's very cliche. We say it all the time. It's next man up mentality.
Absolutely. And you've got guys like Cam Bates. You've got Chase Penry. You've got these guys waiting in the wings that are explosive. They deserve to be here, too. Just because they're a backup doesn't mean they can't make plays, and we know how competitive this roster is. These guys, this might be their moment to shine and potentially move up on the depth chart permanently. It just kind of depends what happens here. But they're at home. I think we've got to remember the last, pretty much every game Boise State has squared off here, they put up near 50 points every single time.
They've been unstoppable here on the blue. It's such a great place for them to play. They feel comfortable here. Obviously, there's a sense of protection when you come here. You protect this football field. You protect the blue turf, this community, what it means to play for this university. And the offense, for some reason, just seems to click more at home, which does happen at the college level for college football. Offenses always click more at home. But if that Boise State defense can put them in some good spots early, that's how you get the offense to get that fast start.
You talked about how much this team means to this community. This rivalry means a lot to this community as well. This all started back in 2001 when Boise State started that Cinderella run, upsetting Fresno State, who's a top 10 team. And in today's Bronco Rewind, we want to walk you back through the rivalry of the milk can and show you how we got to where we are today.
Bronco Roundup Rewind, sponsored by your local Toyota dealers.
It's everything you want it to be. You know, you sign to Boise State, you want to play in those big-time environments, but this one is for real, for real.
I mean, it's one of those places, I would assume, very similar to coming to play at Boise State when you come to play in the blue. It's a hostile environment.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I got the milk!
It's a big deal to our boosters. It's a big deal to our fan base. The guys, they understand that.
Man, it's great. And the rivalry we have between, us and Fresno. Fresno's a great team, and we knew that. We knew it was going to be a dogfight coming in.
Bulldog Stadium, it's got a Raider game vibe. It's kind of dark, it's kind of gloomy.
And it's a touchdown.
You have to walk down that tunnel, and everybody talks about that tunnel, but that's one of the coolest things. Being on either side, it's loud, it's just kind of muggy in there. You're getting barked at, and so it's fun.
Those guys are confident coming down that ramp, and they're not going to lay down. They're going to run their system well, perfect. They're well coached, and it's just the fact that, to be honest, I really don't like these guys.
The Milk Can rivalry. It's one of the Mountain West's fiercest matchups. Boise State and Fresno State, 2 programs built on toughness, grit, and a whole lot of pride.
But over here,
There's no red allowed and nothing. No Gatorades, no none of that.
As the Bulldogs of Fresno State take on the Boise State Broncos. Parr on the move.
And that battle goes back more than 2 decades to the game
Second and goal.
that started it all.
So to see just how that rivalry from 01 where Boise goes into
Boise State!
to Fresno and wins that game, and it kind of sparks the, from 2001 to now, the winning seasons and all the, the accolades, the Fiesta Bowl. I feel like that game is the one that kind of changed the tide in the Boise-Fresno.
That win didn't just shake up the rankings, it sparked the rivalry.
The Cinderella season of Pat Hill may have come to an end.
4 years later, the Milk Can Trophy was born. A literal milk can celebrating the dairy roots shared by Idaho's Treasure Valley and California's Central Valley. Since 2005, every time these two meet, the winner takes home the can and the bragging rights. This year, the story adds another twist. 2 familiar faces who once wore Bulldog red
Speed, hit it!
now stand on the opposite sideline. Running backs coach James Montgomery and running back Malik Sherrod.
When I was at Fresno, we lost the milk jug too. Ball on the right. So I'm excited for the rivalry game on the first and to be able to try to get that thing back in Boise.
From that upset back in 2001
Touchdown, Boise State.
to tonight's showdown on the blue, the Milk Can rivalry has delivered drama, history, and heart, and it's showing no signs of slowing down.
No matter what records are, no matter how seasons are going, those games can go any way.
If I get a chance to touch the milk can, I'm probably just gonna try to show it off in Fresno face. Don't let me be the first one down there, because I'm gonna grab it and run right down the sideline. So let everybody know, yeah, I got it back.
Well, we thought we'd bring in the man who put that story together, who happens to be a Fresno State alumni. Mr. Hector, how are you, sir?
Good. Hey, on the blue, excited for the game. Huge rivalry. So, of course, I'm pumped, especially being on the field.
Yeah, you wore the blue tie. We can appreciate that.
I did. But underneath, I got my Bulldog red underneath. I just don't want to show it off too much because I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for it. But
is that a Bulldog in your pocket that you brought?
Show that one off. I got my little Bulldog here, my little partner. So, always got to carry him with me.
Wow. Okay, so you were talking about the checkered end zones, and you got to go to a lot of these games, especially in this Boise State rivalry.
Right.
What, as a student of the opposite school, what makes it so special for you guys over there in Fresno?
I'll say, it's been incredible to watch just because amazing quarterbacks on both sides, running backs have been phenomenal. Defenses, I think it almost seems like these programs are kind of like parallel in the sense that it's just the grit, the pride, a lot of the defense has been one of the biggest things for both programs. So watching that and then just watching them just kind of fight, whether it's the championship games or like on the blue, out the checkered field at Bulldog Stadium. So it's been fun to watch.
You've been a part of both sides of the rivalry, obviously. How would you try to attempt to compare the fan bases and the fan experience? Because we heard it was comparable to Raider games at Fresno State. How would you try to compare Bronco Nation, Fresno State?
I think the biggest thing with both teams is that they travel well. They both fill out their stadiums, but obviously I'm going to lean more towards the checkered end zones, just on my opinion. But no, the Blues incredible. People are here loud, and they'd love to support the Broncos, so it's cool to watch.
For this offense, we talked a lot about it, right? You've been watching their football games, obviously. What is wrong with the offense? What do you think, in your estimation, they have to do to try to pull off an upset today?
I think the biggest thing is rely on the run game. I think that's the biggest thing. If they can start early, they can hit the run game. I think they'll give a little bit of a chance for Conklin to get a little more comfortable in the pocket. Because I know Boise State's going to try to get at that quarterback hard. So I think establishing that run game early, I think that'll help them operate and get a little bit more offense. But I'm hoping they could generate a little bit more than they have the past couple games.
Yeah. It's going to be tough sledding with that BSU defensive line. One of the strengths of this Broncos defense. It's just so awesome that you're here with us on our team here, and you're also a Fresno State guy. We just appreciate you so much. Big
for this
time.
hour before he starts barking from the stands with Boise State.
Well, we got to get a bark on here too.
We do got to get, and we're going to hold you to that. But first, so people watched our morning segment with you, and you got called out by one of our viewers.
I did see that.
Did you see? Okay, so one of our viewers from Caldwell wrote that if
Mike from Caldwell,
I didn't have the script in front of me. Mike, if you're watching, and you should be, told Hector, hey, if Fresno State loses, you got to rock a Boise State jersey. What do you think about that?
Listen, hey, I'm one for the rivalry, so if we do lose, just know if Tuesday I show up in the Bronco jersey, it's not because I changed sides, it's just more we didn't get the W. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to come in Fresno State proud on Tuesday when I come back to work.
Okay.
I think so.
You think the Bulldogs getting it done today?
I think that milk can stays with us.
Oh, all right.
I think that milk can stays with us.
What happened to that milk can, by the way?
I was just going to
It's all
ask the same
dented and
thing.
scuffed
It's all
up. What
over
did you guys do
social
over
media.
there?
Listen, I think they were just a little too excited to keep it for so long. I think they didn't know what to do with it, but I think it'll be securely back in the Central Valley.
All right.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Hector believes that Fresno State is going to pull off a major upset, big time on the blue. We do the score predictions between you and I. We got to get one from him, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Hector. We're going to hold you to it. What do you got?
I had some time to think since the morning.
Okay.
35-26 Fresno State. That's what I think.
Wow.
I think the only way this game goes is going to be a high-scoring one, I think. So.
Really? Okay.
That's what I think. That's the only way Fresno State can stay in this game is if it's just a shootout. That's what I think.
Well, we're going to lose a lot of credibility with how much we talked about the defense coming into this interview, so I hope that's not the case. But
We'll see, yeah.
35-26 Fresno State. All right, Hector, good luck up in the stands today. I think you're going to be the only red up there in that
Red up on that
sea
side,
of
yeah,
blue.
up there, yeah.
Can we get a bark before you get going?
All right, we'll give a good
Okay.
So it should be good.
It's good. Baby. He's practiced that. That is pretty spectacular. Hector, man, thanks so much for being on the show.
Appreciate you.
You did a great job with
Thank
that
you.
story. Thanks for being on here. All right, so Fresno State coming to town, getting loose here, and boy, we've got a lot of important information to get to, but if you don't want to sit around and wait for it, we've got the game day guide, Austin.
Yeah, text BSU to that number on your screen. We do such a great job putting that together. Carson does all of your player profiles, everything you need to know for this football game. Anything you need, any information, text BSU to that number on your screen. The Game Day Guide is your ticket to all things Boise State football.
Absolutely. It's got everything from player profiles to Boise State's record in particular uniform combinations.
The
like
rivalry.
The rivalry, of course. Doesn't have what happened to the milk can, and so we're going to press Carson on that when we get back because you got to dig into that. But it does have the uniform combination today.
Looks like
Boise
they just
State
rolled it around on the farm or something.
It kind of feels like they used it, like not as a trophy. They're like, yeah, this is what this is for. I feel like so. But Boise State, they're going to try to win that back wearing some sick threads today. Sick. I'm dating myself. I don't think anyone uses that as a descriptor.
Sick?
Sick. That's so 2006. Black helmet, blue jersey, black pants. I like the threads a lot. What do you think?
I dig them. This is actually the first time that they called for the fans to wear black and blue depending on where your tickets are in the stadium. They're wearing the black and the blue. You can see some of the helmets right now right behind us. Got the decals, the blue face masks with the blue glossy Bronco logo on the top of that helmet. That is like a cherry on top. Big time uniform combination. Don't forget the 6'7". They threw that in there as well. You got to throw one of these up there.
Right over my head. I'm catching up with the lingo. I said the word sick, so you can tell I'm not with the current times.
You got to tune in to Make It Make Sense Monday. We'll handle that for you.
That's right. I'll DVR that just to add to my age. Well, listen, we want to keep the cameras here on the field so you can see the guys warming up, but we do want to introduce you also to the equipment team who helped put these uniforms together. Week in and week out, they're the silent heroes of this football team, getting face masks to the right helmets, getting the cleats all prepped up.
This is pretty incredible.
Football's prepped for this. It's pretty awesome. Take a look.
Doing it for 4 years now, and it took a while to learn everything, but I've definitely come around and gotten, I'd say, pretty good at it. I played in high school, and I knew I wasn't going to play in college, but I wanted to stay around the sport. So I looked at a couple different options, and this one kind of just happened to fall into my lap. And yeah, it was pretty addicting to start. Everybody's got their own thing. By this time, I've pretty much memorized what everybody wears down to pretty much a T. Decals to face mask to chin strap to the correct jaw pads. I think a helmet takes around 5 to 10 minutes. The decals take most of the time because you got to make sure that's right because that's what people see. Favorite part of this job is definitely just being with all the people on the staff. We've become really close over the last 4 years. I've been with some guys all 4 years. Just really want to stay doing equipment because I love sports, even though I can't play them anymore. I just love being around them.
Man, I love that. It's a guy who said, you know what, I can't play at the next level. I just want to be around the sport. And what a cool hobby. When we posted this on social media, we got a lot of responses of like, how do we get that job? That looks super cool.
I think the biggest thing that I took away from that was that he's memorized pretty much every single thing that these players want, that they wear, just like Maddox Madsen, as you see right now. Every single piece, head to toe, he has pretty much memorized. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
Takes some serious skill.
They said they've got a spreadsheet. It is very organized, despite how much laundry and how disorganized it might look in there from time to time. But you brought up Maddox Madsen. This is a guy who's looking for a bounce-back game after kind of stalling a little bit against Nevada. You saw some of those throws earlier that we showed you in those highlights. Didn't seem like he was able to get into a rhythm, but it wasn't just him. It was the run game as well. As we mentioned, it seems like it was just a struggle to move the ball even a couple of yards at a time.
Yeah, the biggest thing with this offense, and any offense realistically, is you got to establish the run early, which leads to the play-action pass. If you're not rushing the football, the defense is not going to press forward on a play-action pass, and your receivers are not going to be open. They're just going to be able to sit back and play coverage. You have to be able to rush the football in order for Maddox to be successful. I also think that Potter is going to make some calls today that gets him going maybe quicker, gets the ball out of his hands faster, 5-yard, 6-yard outs, maybe some quick slants to get him going, get him in a rhythm like you just talked about, so that this offense clicks early and often and keeps this crowd in the football game.
And perhaps one of the advantages is there's some new wide receivers that are coming into this game that haven't really gotten a lot of tape that Fresno State might not be able to have prepared for as effectively. So I know that might feel like a stretch, but hey, just anything that might help give these guys an edge. It seems like every week they come in with a different detail-oriented game plan. Nevada, that's tough. I mean, they held Fresno State to a 3-point game. They've hung around with everybody. Kind of feels like we can just chalk that up to that's just those guys from Reno on a Friday night on a short week. So it's just it was just a tough game, but shake it off. We're here. We're on the blue. It's okay.
On the flip side of what you were talking about with the defense preparing for those new wide receivers, keep an eye on the matchups early with the wide receivers, the timing between Madsen and those wide receivers. That's kind of something to look at for too, because they're obviously not been on the field as much as experienced as a guy like Ben Ford or Chris Marshall or the other guys that have been on the field. I do expect Madsen to try to find Latrell Caples early and often, but some of those new guys, Cam Bates making big-time plays, look for the timing, and if the timing's off, hopefully they can get that fixed quickly.
One of the things that Danielson was talking to us about was you can't force these explosive plays. Yeah. They just have to kind of organically happen. When you try to force it, then all of a sudden you're playing from behind the sticks, and that kind of creates problems. Cam Bates, he's a guy that we talked about needing to step up. You see him warming up here on the sidelines. He's had a lot of explosive plays when he gets his hands on the football. We saw that reverse touchdown he had, I believe it was against UNLV a couple weeks back here on the blue. He's got wheels, man, if you can get him on the outside.
Yeah, get him on the outside and get the offensive lineman and a couple wide receivers in front of him to block. You can't teach speed, and he is electric when he touches the football. Also expect him to make some big-time explosive plays down the field, giving Maddox an option, getting open against this defense. Really tough, obviously, but speed is what can really change a football game, and Cam Bates has been that option for Boise State.
Absolutely. Well, as we're standing here, baking in the sun a little bit in these suits. It's a warm start to the November month.
This is what fall's all about right here.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, coming from Montana, this must feel like summer for you.
Yeah, I'm absolutely loving the weather out here. Beautiful fall in Boise. Real fall. There is no fall in Montana.
Fall,
it's
absolutely.
Summer and winter. Much rather be here. Love that I'm here. Glad we're back at home for a game on the blue.
How about this? 66 degrees here for the Bronco faithful to come out for the 13th consecutive sellout. We talked about Fresno State. They've stole a couple of games from Boise State over the years, but this is going to be a packed, loud crowd as students are starting to file in. They've forced so many false starts against UNLV and App State. They've been a problem this year on the blue.
Yeah, especially after they got called out, right, on the New Mexico game.
For leaving early.
It took a little bit of a call out from everybody inside of the university, and maybe some from us media members a little bit as well. They came back for that UNLV game and were the loudest I've ever heard a football game inside of this stadium. I've been to a lot of big-time college football games. That day against UNLV, that's the loudest I've ever heard any college football fan base. And I've been at some big-time games. I was at the Rose Bowl, Penn State, USC. Didn't compare.
Really?
Did not compare to the noise level that was here on the blue against UNLV. This crowd is phenomenal. It's one of the best fan bases, if not the best fan base in the country.
That's some high praise.
Statement.
consider, I mean, the north end zone, there's not even fans there right now. So this is like a nearly completed stadium. And to say that, that's some high praise. So I think Broncos fans will love to hear that. And
when your watch it keeps saying loud environment, please get out of the
get
loud environment.
Yeah.
You know you've got an issue.
Yeah, home of the 12th man here in Boise. But absolutely, this is going to be a game where they're going to need these fans. Fresno State, it's a slugfest every time they go out there. But it's kind of expected in this rivalry. Hopefully Boise State, they can hoist that milk can. Again, Taylen Green, we have to go all the way back to his days here as a Bronco. Kind of crazy to think about when you really kind of put some thought behind that.
Yeah, everybody probably looks at the video that we're providing and is like, why are they using such old video? Well, that's the last time they've held a milk can here in Boise.
Yeah, it's just been pretty funny to see. And, you know, one of the things, we talk about how dedicated this fan base is to Boise State, and the other thing that we should talk about is, of course, Coach Danielson's commitment to this as well. You know, earlier this week, we confirmed that a lot of these schools that have head coach vacancies around the country, they've reached out to Coach Danielson to kind of gauge his interest, to see what he would think about. What's that?
See where he's at.
See where he's at. See where his headspace is at. And it's kind of interesting to see because Danielson, he told us on Thursday, he said, look, I can appreciate that as much as the next guy, but my heart is here. I feel like I'm called to be here. And he essentially said, I've got zero interest in leaving Boise.
I think about it no different with recruits. I can be committed to Boise State, but if all I'm doing is talking with other coaches about decommitting, where's your heart, man? Where's your focus? For me, I'm focused on these kids, and I want to be here. If you told me 10 years from now I'm still the head coach at Boise State, that's a dream come true to me because I love this place, because I feel called here. And it's not just for football, right? I love this community. We got 109 kids on our team, and I've been able to be around them the entire time, from when they're freshmen to now.
Yeah, and that's, you can kind of get a sense of where he's at, even from a recruiting standpoint of like, look, I want guys who are going to be here for real, not just for the paychecks that come with college football nowadays, but somebody who can buy into this vision. And I think that goes, I think that the words are matching the actions, right? We see so often a lot of these big head coaches, they'll say stuff, they'll talk the talk, but then when a new opportunity comes up, they're signing a new contract.
I think the biggest thing for Danielson is he feels like obviously he's blessed for this opportunity, but he also feels like he's called to this opportunity. He's built here to grow young men. He's committed to this university. He did take maybe a little bit of a shot at the commitments, but that just goes to show you where his head is at. He has no interest. He's probably flattered by the offers or maybe flattered by people reaching in his inbox, but he is committed to this university and building this football program to be the best it's possibly be as they head to Pac-12 next year.
And one of the programs that stood out was that Sports Illustrated reported that UCLA was one of the schools that reached out, the team that beat Spencer Danielson in that LA Bowl a few years back, right when he was still named the interim head coach. Pretty interesting full circle moment to see Spencer say, look, that big city life is not for me at this point in time. I'm here to build this program alongside an excellent athletic director. And that's right on cue, actually. We got our guy, JD. Hey.
What's up,
welcome
guys?
to the show. We were just talking about you.
Yeah.
So we were just, to get you up to speed, talking about, you know, interviewing Spencer Danielson this week on the coaching carousel in college football, and him saying, you know, I kind of like what we're doing here. I've got a vision of where we're headed, and a lot of that comes in conjunction with an athletic director. And I was wondering if you could just kind of speak to that relationship you've built with Spencer Danielson, and especially being an athletic director, you see what's happening in the world of college football with these coaches.
100%. You know, that relationship with your president and your head football coach and your head men's basketball coach is extremely important. And I'm so grateful, guys, for Spencer and even Leon. Every year we're navigating this. You got to really want to be a Bronco. And I have an unbelievable team, and it doesn't mean it doesn't change in the future, right? But when I talk to Spencer and how honest and authentic our relationship is, we have no secrets. I just am so grateful as an athletic because that's not always the case. So anytime there's issues, anytime there's opportunities, anytime a call is made, Spencer's the first one to call me and say, FYI, JD. And I'm the same way with them. And that's just really built over the course of time. You got to trust the people in your foxhole. You got to lock arms with them. And Spencer and I both believe in Epic. And I believe we make a great team, and I'm very grateful for him.
So in terms of just that relationship, it's so difficult to find authenticity anywhere in sports anymore. We were talking earlier, it seems like loyalty is one of those kind of long lost traits, but
100%.
here in Boise, we can look past the money. We want to build something authentic and from the ground up here.
Right.
How difficult is it to find people like that to be a part of that vision?
It's not easy, that's for sure, but you hit it on the head. And I think we're part of the problem. You know, when you think about the transfer portal, when you think about how kids are brought up. I have little kids. Everyone gets a trophy. If you're not playing, you switch teams. The ability to work hard and grind it out and prove to yourself and others that you are the best, it's getting lost. And that's something here that is important to us. And we are trying to do our very best in preparing our student athletes for life. And I got to find people that want to be in that foxhole with me. And we have a lot of those people. And it's not just our coaches. It's people like Chris Coots. It's people like Cody Gogler. Everyone here, because of the things that we are doing, and it takes a team, they are getting offered all the time. And we have these conversations, and it just makes me proud that their belief in me and the opportunity I have to lead a place like this, you have to really want to be a Bronco. And it means something more to us, and we represent something bigger than ourselves. And when you can have people like that around you, you can still continue to build and discipline and coach and hold accountable, and using like a Gage Casey and an Ashton Genty and a Tyson Degenhart.
Heads up.
Ooh. These.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh man, that's live TV. Oh man, where's our cameraman for that?
That's gonna be a headache for later.
Yeah,
for
let me go. Let me grab some. Yeah, that was right on the
concussion protocol.
Can I get one of those
We got
helmets?
a great health and wellness team. You can bring them over. This is 2 interviews in a row that the Cannon last week that I thought I lost my life.
Yeah.
You know, and now this. Yeah. I like how he said, like, hey, watch out as it's hitting your head.
I went to grab it. I just couldn't reach over you.
Yeah, no, I'm not here for that.
I'll just say, like, I'm grateful for people like Ashton Genty and people like Spencer, people like Tyson Degenhart, and we have them across the board. And, you know, and I think that's why we've been able to hold on to a lot of people and not necessarily be impacted by the transfer portal. It matters here, and I think that holistic approach that we have to our staff, our student athletes, our supporters, people are our greatest asset, and that is a part of the culture that we are building off of that will impact us and our success moving forward.
Listen, when you get offers, when you get, you know, people in your inbox, you know, obviously it's flattering, but it means you're doing something right here. It means you're building things correct. Let's talk about Spencer Danielson some more, a guy who has never lost a conference game. I'm going to kind of transition to the football game here.
Yeah.
How deep is this rivalry for you guys? Haven't had the milk can in a couple of years. How deep does this rivalry go back? How important is it for you guys? Obviously, every game's important. I know that. But I'm talking about the specifics of this rivalry and the milk can and what it means.
Yeah, rivalry games are emotional. It's powerful in a lot of ways. I know our fan bases really look forward to this game and excited about us both moving into the Pac-12 in the future. This is an important game for us, and every game matters, like you said, and it's a 1-0 mentality. Some games maybe matter a little bit more, and that's what a rivalry is, and that makes it really special because this is something that we have pride in. And I'm sure Garrett and that staff and Coach Ince, who's a great coach, they would say the same thing. You know, for these type of games, you throw everything out, and your best hopefully is better than theirs. And I expect a great game today, and I know our guys are prepared. I know they've prepared, and I'm hoping it's a great game for Bronco Nation, and we come out on the winning side.
Undefeated Mountain West Conference for the girls soccer team.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. The tournament's obviously coming up. Hosting, they get the bye.
Yeah.
What can you say about that program from the start that they had where everyone was like, they're struggling a little bit at the start, and then to go undefeated in conference, and now we're here?
Yeah, soccer's an interesting sport because obviously you have ties. And early on in the season, it's like, I mean, we didn't lose, we just didn't win. And I hate ties. Like, as a competitor, and I bet soccer would say the same thing, like, all right, let's just go to penalty kick, something.
Golden goal, something.
Yeah, something. But I'm so proud of what Jim and them have done. You know, you come to Boise State to compete for championships, and it's that 1-0 mentality. Early on in the season, it's like, what are we? What will we be? How is conference going to go? And they just kept going back to work. And it started in the offseason. We lost some starters. We lost some student athletes to injury. But it's always what's next, and the next person's up. And I'm just really proud of the work that staff has done and the work that our external bot has done to drive Bronco Nation to their matches, and the opportunity that we have ahead of hosting the Mountain West Championship. I mean, you look at soccer and football, we haven't lost the Mountain West game in quite a while. You know,
It's been a few months, yeah.
And so that's important to us. And we're not always going to win the championship, but our goal is to compete every year. And we want to be a problem for everyone else. And that's a standard here. That's what it means to be a Bronco, and that's something we continue to push, and we're not going to back down from that. Every year, our goal is to win a championship, and we're going to continue to do that, and soccer's living it out in action.
All right. Yeah, I feel like that's as good a note as any to end it on. Sorry, I keep looking back. I'm like, is it gonna hit me?
I'm sorry. We'll bring you some ice.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll get to hang out with the medical staff today.
Yeah.
That'll be great. Hey, thank you so much for coming on. As always, it's great to flag you down.
Thank you guys. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Jeremiah Dickey, you talked about the success. Yeah, holy smokes, that got me like right up. There's our cameraman. Fix it. That's fun. That's live TV. What was I talking about?
The Game Day Guide.
Oh yeah, the Game Day Guide. Yeah, let's tease that. So if you text the number on your screen, it's 321-5614. I just memorized that out of nowhere from that hit. I feel like you can
knocked it to the front part of your
just
brain.
to the front. I feel like that was helpful in a lot of ways. You can get all the information you need about Game Day, this rivalry, uniform combinations, the whole works. Sent straight to your fingertips. We'll send it straight to you. And that's our guy Carson Cloud, who works all week on that and does an excellent job getting that in-depth information.
Yeah, Game Day Guide is it. That's where you need any information for this football team, for this football program, the rivalry. You said it all. I don't need to say anything else. Game Day Guide, text that number. Good to go.
Absolutely. Well, hey, it's about that time. Kickoff here in about 23 minutes. Let's talk about some keys to the game. Can we get that rolling?
Bronco Roundup Keys to the Game is sponsored by your local Ford stores.
Keys to the game, partner. It all starts on first down. These guys have got to get back in a rhythm. And I tell you what, if they can stay ahead of the sticks here, avoid the 2nd and 12s, 3rd and 13s, they're going to be in good shape. They've got to find that rhythm and start fast. And that's part of this offense too. We talked about first quarter is their quarter. They're outscoring opponents like crazy. And if they can put 2 touchdowns on the board, they've got a 96% chance to win. That dates back to 1996. They need a fast start today.
Start fast early and often, rush the football, makes things easy for Maddox Madsen with the play action pass. Got to start fast if you're this Boise State offense. It kind of leads into key number 2, which is win first down. Basically, you can't be having 3rd down and 8s, 3rd down and 9s, 3rd down and 10s. You got to have strong gains on first down to create an easy matchup for Maddox Madsen on 2nd down and 3rd down. You got to win first down.
Yeah, absolutely, Aaron. There's a guy standing by that we'll be able to bring in here in just a second who knows all about 3rd down, or winning on first down and winning on offense, a former offensive coordinator for Boise State that many of you will recognize. But that brings us to key number 3, partner.
Defense. Stay on the roll.
Championships. They've got to keep rolling.
Yeah, got to keep rolling. I mean, this defense has been so powerful, especially on the backside of that secondary. We're talking about a defense that everybody harped on after that South Florida game. They are now 28th in the nation when it comes to passing defense. Amarion McCoy, obviously Jeremiah Irby with the 2 picks against Nevada. They've been so strong. That defensive front, when they create pressure, the guys on the backside, don't forget Ty Benefield as well. Big-time players make big-time plays, and they'll make them today on the blue.
And we pitched this to be a defensive slugfest, and tell you what, if it all holds true, Ty Benefield is going to have some big hits today, and it feels like Amarion McCoy, 4 picks in 5 games.
It's a lot.
He's got the hot hand right now, and kind of feels like maybe they just are better off not throwing to his side of the field whatsoever today during today's game.
No fly zone.
No fly zone.
I think that's what he would call it. Between those 2 and Ty Benefield, and then you talk about the linebackers with No Triani, Bowen Phelps, a guy who doesn't even look like a linebacker, but switched the position, which is also so difficult as a defender. This defense is playing at their all-time best. They give up 3 points against Nevada.
3 points against
Nevada. What else do you need?
Absolutely. And this is a team, I think it's the last 90 minutes of gameplay, they've let up 10 total points. So they're finding a good rhythm, especially in the second half. You saw it against New Mexico, UNLV, Nevada. They've just been lights out. I don't know what is that locker room speech looks like from Coach Danielson, but those guys are fired up, ready to just run through a brick wall.
We always say that maybe Jeremiah Dickey should lead the motivational speech because he knows he is away with words, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, this team has been absolutely motivated. They're doing a great job at blocking out the noise. blocking out all of the noise surrounding the program, whether it's on social media, wherever it comes from. They block it out. They focus on winning football games. They don't care if they're blowouts. They don't care if it's a 5-point win, 4-point win, or a 30-point win. A win is a win. It all counts the same in the win and loss column.
We talk about the noise, and a lot of this defense fueled by this home crowd here. We got former offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter standing by, but first we want to introduce you kind of a special piece about the fans that you were able to put together, Austin.
Yeah, basically, I mean, there's just, you look around here, there's no place like the Blue. There's no fan base like Bronco Nation. And they do everything they can to protect this place. And with Fresno State in town in this rivalry, we got to take a look at why this place is so special and why Bronco Nation has to protect it.
If you're a football fan in Boise, the Blue is more than a stadium to watch a game. It's a standard that must be protected.
What matters most to you, you protect.
Because this turf isn't just color. It's a promise to every legend who built this program and to every future Bronco ready to carry it forward.
When we go on that field, yes, it's a blue field. We don't protect that field. We protect this community.
And if you ask Bronco Nation what this field means, the answer shows up every Saturday. Pride, home, goosebumps, family. The Blue is sacred.
Like, that matters to us. We talked about this community and how much they save their money to come watch you. What do you want that to look like? And then how much do your teammate matter to you? How much do your brothers matter to you? Because we put a premium on team is always greater than me.
Today, with Fresno State in the building and the milk can on the line, the Blue needs its people.
We need all of Bronco Nation. We need that place sold out. That is an advantage for us playing at home. It's an advantage for anyone playing at home, but especially here on the Blue, we need Bronco Nation to be here all game long. We need them to be loud because that is an advantage for us. Protecting the Blue matters to this team.
This isn't just a home field. It's an identity, a standard, a commitment, a declaration that Boise shows up and stands together. The Blue matters, the community matters. So the message is simple. Bronco Nation, you must protect what you love.
And they're going to have to protect it today with Fresno State coming into town, a big-time rivalry, the battle for the milk can. Bronco Nation has got to be as loud as they possibly can to try to bring that milk can back to Boise.
And they'll have one more voice cheering from the sidelines. It's a face you probably recognize, Mr. Dirk Cutter. How are you, sir?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. And what a great day. It's going to be an awesome day at Bronco Stadium. And I think the Broncos are going to get after Fresno today.
You think so?
I do.
I was about to say, you put together some pretty impressive offensive schemes throughout the years. What's it like to be back here, kind of just spectating? I know you have sort of an advisor role, but just kind of taking a step back on the sidelines. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, well, no, I enjoy it. They have an awesome coaching staff here, headed up by Spencer, but the assistants on both sides do a great job, and it's fun to watch them work, and it's fun to watch these guys play. I know this team hasn't played their best game yet, but I think as we get to the last third of the season here, it's going to take off.
What do you think this offense specifically, what are they doing well, and what can they continue to try to improve on? Because we saw 2 weeks ago against UNLV, Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines completely took over the football game. Obviously, Dylan Riley had 200 yards, Gaines had 2 touchdowns. And then against Nevada, they struggled to rush the football against a team that hasn't won a conference game in 2 years. I know it's a rivalry game, I know it's tough, but what do you like and what do you want to see improvements on, or how can they improve?
Yeah, I think the main thing, that's a lot of stuff there, but consistency, right? I just think they need to be a little bit more consistent, and I know they're working on it. And you have to realize, like at that Nevada game, when teams play the Broncos, their only mission is to stop the run game, and they're saying, let's see if you can beat us with the passing game. So obviously, if we can establish a run against anybody, that's going to open the play action game. And you saw what happened when that clicks against UNLV.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get it going again today.
When you see, Maddox, he's had some great moments throughout the year. He's also been a little frustrated. We saw against Nevada, and how, as an offensive coordinator, what do you tell your quarterback? Say, hey, shake that off. How do you establish that quick memory? Because I feel like that's the hardest part about being quarterback of all of the things they have to do.
Memory of a goldfish,
Yep.
tough one.
Yeah.
Tough one.
Yeah, the go-to word I always used to say is press the clear button. You're working on your, does anybody use calculators anymore? You use that calculator, you did it wrong, press the clear button. And you got to move on to the next play. And one thing people don't realize about Mad Dog, he's playing hurt right now. I mean, he's pretty banged up on both legs. And, it's made it tough for him to practice during the week. And then he's coming out here and still playing on Saturdays. I think as he continues to get healthier, and then we talked about consistency, I think Mad Dog needs to be a little bit more consistent, and guys gotta make plays around him too, and we got to protect him and make plays around him, and I think it's going to come together.
One of our keys to the game today was the offense has got to get a fast start. They got a fast early and often, win first downs, get a fast start. As an offensive coordinator, how would you look to game plan with Maddox to try to get him into a rhythm quickly versus the rather?
Right. Well, it still goes back to, I know Coach Potter, he's got somewhere around 12 or 15 plays, openers they call them, scripted to start the game, probably 6 runs, 6 passes, something like that. And again, we already said it, if you're making yards in the run game and then maybe 2 or 3 easy completions, maybe followed up with some kind of a deep shot that they think they have a good chance to complete.
All right, I want to just leave you with this. You were the head coach here back in the late 90s. A lot has changed since that time.
A lot.
When you look around here and you see just everything that's changed, I mean, what goes through your mind to be a part of Bronco Nation in today's day and age?
Well, Bronco Nation made this all happen, and then players like we're honoring the 2000 team today, it's on their backs and then on the dollars of Bronco Nation. But this end zone project, the football building, the indoor, that gorgeous press box, none of that was here in 1999 and 2000. So the city of Boise, Bronco Nation has really stepped up, and then all the players that paved the way for these guys. If you don't win, people don't give money. And we've had, I think, 24 bowl games, I think 19 10-win seasons since 1999. People want to be a part of that.
It's a contagious culture.
You were widely considered basically the starter of all that. A lot of people say you kind of started the golden era of Boise State football. It's just been incredible to see how much this place has truly grown since the 90s, early 2000s, even in the last 5-10 years. You grew up here.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see this place evolve, it's been incredible, and they just continue to climb.
Well, I imagine that turf was a little bit more comfortable to get tackled on than when you were probably coaching.
Yeah, what? They're due for new. I just see we're getting new turf again next year. But, last year to see us average 37,000 fans. I played high school football on this field, and then we'd stay for the Boise State games on Saturday, and I think it was, they might have been getting 19 or 20,000 in those days. 37,000 a game, and after they finish this project, it'll be back to that again next year. It really is cool to see the growth, and that's why kids want to come here and play.
Yeah. I'll leave it with this.
Final thought for you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know you coached with Doug Martin just a little bit during your time at Tampa Bay. They're honoring him with a moment of silence before today's game. I just didn't know if you could share a few thoughts about the kind of player that he was and what he was like to be around as a coach.
Anybody you talk to about Doug always had that smile on his face, pleasure to be around, fun guy to be around, relentless runner. This guy can make yards after contact like no other. Hell of a player and an awesome young man, gone too soon for sure.
Well, Dirk, thanks so much. We've taken up so much of your time. Enjoy the game today.
Thank you.
Great to meet you. All right, that's going to do it from us here for the Bronco Roundup Game Day show. Thanks so much for being live with us
Throw your score out there.
Oh, wait, the score prediction. 35-13 Boise State.
42-7.
Okay, band's getting ready to go. National anthem on the way. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for some post-game coverage of the highlights of the 2025 Milk Bowl. We'll see you later.
Continue with us and watch free now on the KTVB Plus app everywhere you stream.